Hello everyone, this is Fi. We're checking out Waak. This is part of the AGDG Demo Day 26. I have no idea what this is. I have the game page open here. It simply says, a small game about a blue thing that walks, just walks. Like, no jumping, just walks. He doesn't even have enough power in those blue legs to push himself up. And that is all it says for the description. So I don't know anything about this. We're just going to kind of jump into this and see what happens. Let's get rid of that overlay. You can see I have the options menu open here. I had to put it into full screen mode. I will note I was playing with this. It has a full screen switch here, and then it has like a borderless switch. I was just playing with this. It doesn't seem to be exclusive full screen as far as I can tell. I can like switch into other tabs and stuff here. It doesn't appear to me like this setting is actually working. So I think it's still borderless even now, even though this is set to off. But that might not matter. In any case, I don't hear any audio or anything yet, so I don't know if it's loud or any of those things. It looks like there's an editor of some sort, but let's go ahead and click on start. I don't know what's going on here. This looks like different levels, and we have play and edit. It's interesting that we can apparently go to any level to start with. It looks like level 2 is kind of the 4th level here, and level 9 is the 3rd one. So it's a bit interesting. And then, yeah, I guess having an editor can certainly be, you know, an interesting functionality feature in a game. All right, we are playing. We got some music. Music is pretty darn loud. Ugh. I'm gonna turn that way down. Let's turn the capture volume down. Let's bring it way down here. It actually sounds to me like there's a little shooty sounds from these little things spewing red things, but they're kind of getting drowned out a little by the music here. Looks like we're using the arrow keys. There's no WASD, unfortunately, so let's go ahead and do this. We can only move left and right, from what I understand, so nothing is mentioned about like what the controls are. It looks like you kind of stick down to the ground a bit when you move instead of just floating, so that's interesting. Alright, so I have to switch between like up and down keys and the left and right keys, so it's pretty weird that you just kind of stick and then you have to like transition. Seems like you can, there's like a bit of wiggle room like in the middle part where you can kind of do either up and down or left and right, so it makes the transition easier, but you do have to keep going back and forth. So yeah, I wonder if like maybe it would be better if you could just hold left or right instead of going back and forth between up and down and left and right. It's kind of annoying, that little stick, the transition there, and always having to swap. Alright, looks like there's no real gravity being simulated. You just kind of zip down to the ground when you go off a ledge like that. And again, I have to transition to going down, so that kind of, that's going to mess with my timing and everything at this kind of part here. Alright, and yeah, sometimes if you're right on the edge, you like don't know if you need to press like up or left or whatever. It's kind of ambiguous. It looks like if I go to the right here until I can't move and then I just don't touch anything, I kind of drift backwards. It's a little weird. It sounds like the music actually stopped. Alright, I completed the level. Let's go ahead and click on exit. I think I have to click on it. I don't know that there are any buttons involved other than the arrow keys at this point. I'm gonna go back. Let me check the options. Alright, the controls are right here, so yeah, up, down, left, and right. And that's it. I have a CRT shader. I guess I could see if that works. I'm pretty sure I applied that, but it doesn't. I don't know if it's just not working or what. Let's go and try that. Oh, there's a CRT. Okay. There's a CRT shader here. It seems just kind of random to have that kind of effect. Alright. Okay. So that's a level. This kind of seems like it should be like the first level. I don't know if these are in Like, for all I know, this just could be in like some kind of a mixed up order. This seems like it would be a first level type of thing, and then I don't know if level 2 is actually meant to be like the second level, or if this is actually the intended order. I'm gonna go ahead and go to level 9 here. This definitely looks a lot more complicated all of a sudden. Oh, so that changes. Oh. Alright, so that was a little unexpected. I have to kind of rewire my brain so the sharp edges are not gonna change the direction of gravity here. So I can't jump, so I have to like... Ooh. Alright. Also can't go up the steps, you can only go down here. Alright, so this looks like it's gonna bring me right back to here. Alright. So the CRT shader is like making this text look kind of hard on the eyes and stuff. Also, you know, the white text here on the white clouds is a little bit hard to read. Let's go turn that on and off. I don't particularly care for that. But let's go ahead to level 2. Oh. Oh, hit a bullet. So one thing I will not, I'm not sure exactly where the hip box of my character is. That's something I would like to know, like the collision boxes on the character and the bullets. Because you get into these situations where sometimes the timing and spacing is pretty tight, and yeah, so there's also a little bit of a disjoint here where if you go off these little ledges, you just like instantly snap to the ground, I guess you'd call it. Whatever that is going to be, you just kind of instantly snap to it. But when you hit these little pads that transition, that kind of swap the gravity, you just kind of, oh, well this time it went instantly, but okay, and that time it went instantly too, but then sometimes it actually goes gradually, like just now. Alright, so that's definitely very inconsistent. I don't know why it does one or the other. I guess it's some sort of buggy behavior, I can only guess. But yeah, it's definitely problematic if you don't know if it's going to go instantaneously or if it's going to go slowly like that when you're trying to dodge these bullets. Yep. Yeah, so it definitely feels like the collision is unforgiving, kind of in a bad way. Like I feel like I didn't quite touch the bullet, but it still killed me and that kind of thing. It never feels good. So definitely be careful about the collision boxes. I always suggest, you know, make them smaller than, at least smaller than the sprites themselves. They never really need to be very big. That one obviously ran into me, but you know, it's more about the feel. You never want it to feel unfair. Now that point, that felt kind of buggy because I pressed right and it looked like the character was trying to move to the left. Like the transition didn't quite work right. So that was a bit weird. Don't know what happened there. Alright, again, I tried to press right and I didn't move right, so I guess I just wasn't quite at the transition point yet or something. So yeah, definitely getting a little wonky on some of these little curves. That's probably another reason why you might consider, you know, just going with just left and right rather than up and down and going back and forth. It's just kind of a problematic thing, I think. Alright. So I think that was, what, level 2? I'm doing more than one. I don't know what that means, but... Alright, see, this time I floated down gradually also, so I don't know if there's some kind of weird bug that's causing you to fall instantly. Or sometimes you don't. I don't know what's going on there. Definitely seems buggy. So I do like the symmetry in this level. It's quite interesting. Oh, jeez. Okay, had to move. Oh, I think I just kind of teleported through that bullet there. Oop. Didn't even see that hit me. Okay, so I can't. Oh, I was gonna say I can't climb these steps, but I'm not actually climbing. I'm going down them. Well, it looks like I have to. Can I see my mouse? I can. So I have to kind of go down through this thing, I guess, or I could try and like maneuver around over here. But it looks to me, I think looking over on this side, it looks like this is just gonna like launch me out into the space, which I assume is gonna kill me or something. Or maybe it wraps around for all I know. I don't know either way, but it looks like we're supposed to try and fall into this, I think. Oh, yep, there you go. Oh, I'm stuck. Right. So let's go ahead and do reverse drop. Okay, looks like we have to go down and then like go back up. Alright. There we go. Alright. That was easy enough. I'm just gonna fudged it. Round and round. So I can see kind of the interest in sort of these puzzly sort of level designs. You're still not really doing anything except going left and right and up and down so far. There's only one thing to avoid so far, but it is at least interesting in that you have to kind of consider the direction you're gonna like walk off a ledge and this kind of thing, and how that kind of changes depending on the context of the level and where you are in the level and all this stuff. Oops. Oh, that bullet kind of gets stuck in the air there. Okay, so again, probably the collision boxes are a little unforgiving in terms of like touching those spikes. There's very little room there to kind of squeeze between them, and it seems like if you just kind of barely brush the tips of them, then it totally kills you. Oh yeah, I don't think I even touched that actually, like visually speaking, so definitely feels like that, you know, probably on the player. I'm gonna assume it could be either the player or the spikes, or who knows, it could be everything. But it feels like the collision boxes are definitely bigger than they need to be. So it's gonna make the game just not feel as fair and enjoyable overall. So let's just try to squeeze in there. It's clearly doable, but a little bit annoying. Okay, so we're gonna transition here. In my opinion, this little pad thing could probably be made to stand out more. I could definitely see it, but it does, you know, kind of blend in there. I wonder if all the bullet things in the stages just always shoot simultaneously, because it seems to be the case so far. Alright, I don't think there are checkpoints either. Yeah, oh. Yeah, I think this is the beginning. But yeah, it definitely feels like the hitbox is a little bit bigger than it ought to be. I got greedy. Yeah. You also got this sound effect kind of stacking on top of itself, so it gets louder depending on how many of these are shooting at once, because it's all simultaneous, so something you might want to manage. Just the number of instances of that particular sound playing at once. Volume levels are fluctuating quite a bit because of that. Actually, they seem to be fluctuating even with like only 2 of them on the screen here, so that's kind of weird. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the player proximity to them rather than on the screen. So sometimes I've heard of developers doing this kind of thing where they think the listener should be like tied to the player. So like when the player character gets near an object that's making sound, then it gets louder and all this kind of thing. Really what you should be doing is consider the camera relative to objects that are making sounds. So as the player, my view into the world is the camera, so my ears are basically attached to the camera, if that makes sense to say. So it shouldn't really be the character's ears that you're attaching your listener to. All right, I'm hoping I don't die because this one's a little bit lengthy. Okay. Now which one was that? Was that Round and Round, I think? So we're going on to Somebody Once Told Me. I guess I can't jump over this little gap. So this is interesting. Apparently I need to kind of work my way backwards somehow. Now, as of this far, even though it kind of... Alright, I should have known that was going to happen. I don't know what I was thinking. Even though it kind of, comes across as a puzzly sort of game, I haven't really had to, like, think about much. Like, I have to be aware of the direction I'm going to go next when I move forward, but it's still just kind of walking forward, so it's not like there's a lot of brain power being used. It's just kind of walking forward and not hitting things that kill me. So probably if this is meant to be, that sort of, okay, well, this is a lot of exits. I don't know if there's multiple ways to finish this level, maybe. But yeah, I mean, of course, if it's meant to be sort of a puzzle game, then you would expect it to kind of involve the, more decision-making elements where, like, if you go this way, you're gonna die, or you kind of like plan ahead, like how do I get over there, and these things, instead of just kind of walking in a direction until you get to the end, which is kind of what I've been doing so far. So there's the element of, sort of the action game element, but it's it seems like it's kind of trying to be a sort of puzzly game at the same time, so. This is kind of remarkably particular, the squeezing into that little gap down there. Again, with the collision is just really unforgiving, so it's like I'm getting really close to the middle, but I'm not quite there, so I don't know if this is supposed to be like pixel perfect. That looks just about pixel perfect in between these two walls, judging by the sprite here, so I mean, obviously this is so small that it's like it's not going to matter that much necessarily unless somebody just doesn't have the dexterity to make it happen. But yeah, just requiring the player to make like a pixel perfect movement is a bit much, so I would definitely look at those collision boxes and make sure there's plenty of room for just little amounts of error and stuff. Is this... Alright, that's what I just did, so go ahead and click on exit level here, that's nice. And then we got shrug. Oh, it's like an actual person shrugging. Okay, so I didn't actually see that pad there until I walked on it. Okay, well this one was pretty easy. There we go. Alright, so yeah, it just seems kind of a random bunch of levels, which is, that's cool. But yeah, I feel like this concept has some capacity to to involve more like decision making for the player, so they could, have to actually figure out how to move forward instead of just kind of moving in whatever direction is available. It's usually one direction, and only ones where there were kind of two directions was like the symmetrical ones, which I think was this one, where it's just symmetrical. It's the same on both sides, so it doesn't actually matter in the end which way you go. So yeah, I think that could definitely be involved here, where you have to kind of figure out how to kind of manipulate the gravity to proceed and all that kind of thing. Apart from that, we have the little editor here. I can just bop into here real quick, see what it looks like. I don't intend to spend much time on this. Interesting with the grid only showing around your cursor here. That's kind of an interesting touch. So we can just kind of click and drag, that's easy enough. And then if I want to get rid of it, do I just right click, or do I have to go? All right, so it seems like I have to right click every individual box. I can't hold right click and drag it to delete things. So that's a little unfortunate, because that's really time consuming. I can click and drag to place it, but to delete it all, I have to just click like a million times. Get little ramps. Okay, I can rotate with the mouse wheel. That's always nice. Oh, but it doesn't want to place right here. So can you not do that? I guess you have to have one space in between here. You can't just connect them for some reason. Ooh, I actually can't place this here either. So, oh, well, clicking and holding and kind of dragging it like that seemed to make it happen. Now I've got these on top of each other, so that doesn't seem right. Try this again. All right, I clicked a bunch of times. If I click and hold and drag. All right, so you can kind of fudge it. I can't click directly in between them, but if I click like up here and then drag down, then it'll draw one in here. So definitely a little weird. That doesn't seem quite correct to me. As well, it doesn't seem correct that I can, like, for instance, do this and cover this curve thing with these platform blocks like on top of each other. It doesn't look like anything is meant to stack in that way, so that seems like it should probably be worked out here. We got the little reverser thing. Interesting how it's going to offset from the mouse position. The same with the start. Spikes is not offset though. Now the spikes I can understand. Well, no, even these look like they're made to occupy their own space. Like they're not going to go into. Looks like you might be able to fudge them into a curve like this. But it doesn't seem correct. Here's an end thing. Collectibles. Oh, see, I forgot. I think these are in one level. I don't know if you like have to collect these in order to complete the level or something, or if these do anything at this point. I don't really know. And then little bullet dispensers. These look like they're meant to butt up against the normal walls. So again, it looks like for some reason if I try and click right next to one, it doesn't want to go with like anything. But if I like click and hold and start painting, then it'll like eventually will go in there. A little buggy. Nonetheless, I like how simple this is, and test level buttons right here. Oh, might not actually work, maybe because I don't have, never even defined a start point, I guess. Oh, there's the little character. So I'm not sure like how the start point works, because it's kind of this block, and then if I place it, now do I have to remove this? I have to remove that. I guess I just kind of put it in open space like this. I don't know, maybe the little highlight part is wrong or something. It looks like I can put the character kind of in the floor, which I assume is not going to work right. Oh, I can edit the level while I'm playing. Now that's a really nice touch. Now I've worked a little bit. Whoops, I just deleted everything. All right, so I've worked a little bit with this kind of game with an editor before, and yeah, being able to not only test the level easily, but even be able to edit the level while you're playing is definitely can be a very nice addition. So that's cool to see. Now, I did click this clear button. I was I was just trying to stop testing the level. There doesn't appear to be a stop button. So maybe like when you click on this, you might want to change this to a stop button or something. I clicked on clear and it deleted the whole level. This is definitely the sort of thing where you want like a little pop-up to show up, little dialogue, and just confirm that you definitely want to do that. You know, just confirm yes or no if you want to delete the whole level, because you definitely don't want to just like accidentally click up there and just delete something you worked on for the last half hour, and that would just not be good at all. So, oh, so this looks more correct, the highlight now. So something a little buggy going on there with the little highlight for this. I think it would be nice also if you could just click this. You wouldn't have to go back and delete this guy to remove it. Like if I just click over here right now, it would just automatically remove it from there and put it over here. That would be a nice touch. I'd also like to be able to use WASD just because it's comfy for me. I don't have to reach for the arrow keys. Oh, yeah, there's definitely some bugs going on here. Yeah, it's interesting sort of concept. I have seen this sort of. I don't think there's actually a way to stop testing. There's lots of. It looks like there's no kill plane, so you can just fall infinitely. Or is it just really far away or something? I don't know. How do you stop testing? That doesn't appear to be a way to make it stop here. That's a like. Oh, okay. You can use arrow keys to scroll around, but there's also doesn't appear to be any kind of indication like how far you could go in any direction, as well as like if I just held right for the next like 60 seconds or something, it would be really hard to get like know how to get back to here. Or if I went like up and down a diagonal, like without any like idea where I'm moving the camera now, it's going to be harder for me to find my way back to the origin point. So this is the sort of thing where you'd want to be able to do something like be able to zoom in and out, like zoom out really far so you could see the whole level area, or you know, show like a mini map in the corner of the screen or something. Maybe you can like click on it to navigate back to the wherever you need to go. It's not great if you get like lost out here somewhere. Yeah, but interesting game. I have seen this sort of gameplay before with this sort of the gravity kind of shifting by 90-degree angles. But there is also the additional limitation in this one where you can't actually jump or anything like that, so that's interesting. So yeah, hopefully this video was useful. Let me know if you have any questions. It's definitely a cool start for something. I like the editor, although there are clearly things to be improved upon. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.